Hello. Yes, this is again Dr. Jimmy, with all secrets of Halloween Horror Nights revealed. Part 4. Yes, once again I must admonish you. If you have not yet watched Part 1, and then Part 2, and then Part 3, go back and do that now. Don't watch Part 4 before you've watched the other parts, or in out of sequence watching 4 after 2, and then before 3, and then before 1, or any silly thing like that, because it would be wrong. No. Watch Part 4 after watching the other 3 parts in correct sequence. Thank you. And if you have watched Part 1, 2, and 3 in correct sequence, then yes, stay right where you are and enjoy Part 4. Yes, in the previous 3 videos, I described the 8 haunted houses of Halloween Horror Nights 24 to you, which were all intellectual property-based houses. No original houses this year, but A&D were given the opportunity to select the haunted houses, to select the IPs for the haunted houses. However, they were not given the liberty to do so with the street experiences, what everyone else in the world calls scare zones. No, alas, somewhere high up in the world of Comcast or Universal, they decided to do one particular intellectual property to cover all of the scare zones. Yes, once again, they picked one franchise. All the scare zones, the whole street experience will all be based on that one franchise, like they did last year with The Walking Dead. But at least it won't be The Walking Dead again this year, no. But I must say, you may wish it were. Because these people, these bean counters, thinking that, well, the demographics, the groups we have, we know that the young males between the ages of 18 and 25 are going to go to horror nights no matter what. And the older people will be there, and others. But there's one we want to target and try to make it more popular to, let's say, middle-aged women and younger females, perhaps. Even get the tweens interested. No, don't worry. It won't be Justin Bieber or Miley Cyrus. That would be too scary. No. But they selected a franchise they thought would appeal to certain demographics, you see. And they insisted, just like they did with The Walking Dead last year, that all of the street experiences would be based on that particular franchise, which I think may be a bit foolish, as this franchise time seems to have passed a little bit. It might have been better if they did that a couple of years ago when it was at its peak of popularity. But it also has to do with contractual obligations. Over the years, they've had many contractual IPs with Lionsgate, you see. And Lionsgate wanted them to use one particular franchise which they hadn't touched before. Most people don't even realize Lionsgate owns this for the motion pictures. You see, they put it out under a subsidiary of Lionsgate called Summit. But it is, and that's where this is coming from. But the people in A&D, even though they were a bit taken aback, at least it fit in with something they wanted to do this year anyway. Remember this? Hmm. Hmm. Type O, my favorite. Mm. Some of you, especially those playing in the game of Legendary Truth, coyly used to refer to 2013 as the year of the Karazhan, to use that Legion name for zombies. And that's why we had so many zombies last year. And some of you, half jokingly, have speculated that perhaps this year they might spotlight a different legion and make it heavy to a different type of supernatural entity this year. And do you know what? You were right! Yes! So those of you like Sean Murphy and a couple others, cheers! You guessed correctly. 2014 will indeed be the year of the Strangoid. Yes. As I said before, there was a reason we have 4 different versions of Dracula and the haunted houses, because the Strangoid, of course, are able to take more than one form. The most variety of shapes and sizes of any of the legions, as we saw back in 2012 when the legions ran through the streets. Yes, it'll be the year of the Nosferatu, the undead, the vampire. And at least A&D felt at least what they're being forced to do with the streets this year does fit in with that. And so they're making the best of it. Because vampires take many forms: horrific, seductive, and alas, sparkly. Oh dear. Yes, it is. I am quite, appropriately enough, horrified to reveal to you that all of the street experiences, every last freaking scare zone this year, will be tied in to the franchise that can only be called Twilight. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give you nightmares. Yes, I'm afraid the streets will be lousy with sparkly vampires and shirtless wolf boys. Well, some of you may find the latter a bit hot. Maybe it'd be a good idea to spend most of your time in the houses or at Bill and Ted's show and avoid the streets as much as you can, except of course when you're playing Legendary Truth, trying to scan your card off of some wolf boy's buttocks. No, they wouldn't put a scanner there, would they? Oh well, here's blood in your eye. But again, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, my friends, in the streets will be something quite remarkable. And I'm shivering with anticipation and hoping they really pull this off in a wonderful way. Yes. As those who've attended the events for many years know, for 22 years at Halloween Horror Nights, beginning with Fright Nights, all the way up to once you're inside, there is no way out. For 22 years, there was a remarkable character who appeared year after year at the event. Sometimes in haunted houses, but usually in the streets. The Rat Lady. Our beloved Rat Lady. Until last year. 2013 goes down in history, as well as being the year there were too many damn zombies, as the year there was no Rat Lady. Many of us lamented her absence that year and wondered why. Why no Rat Lady? And now I've discovered the answer. It's because they wanted to bring about something entirely new and remarkable with this concept. Something revolutionary. They couldn't quite pull it off last year, and they put it off to, well, actually, they were going to do something last year that they couldn't quite pull off. To fit in with all the zombies, you see, they were going to have a zombie rat lady. They were going to try to have zombie rats. They were going to do makeup on the rats and make them look like they were decomposing. But they couldn't pull it off, and, well, the animal cruelty prevention people said you can't do that. And they finally decided to call the whole rat lady off last year rather than to not do what they had planned. So there was no rat lady last year. And they put all their energy into developing 2014's project, which would be new and exciting and different. For 22 years we have seen the rat lady in different forms lying in her crystal coffin, rather like Snow White, with all of her rats scampering about, nibbling on her fingers, crawling up her dress. This year you'll see something even more remarkable. When you go up Hollywood Boulevard, once you get past those sparkly vampires, you'll come up to the area where the barn was last year. That wonderful little area, a showpiece for the entire event as usual, between Mel's Die-In and Central Park and Battery Park. Battery Park. You'll see a glass coffin, but not horizontal, vertical. The glass coffin, in classic coffin shape, towering, majestic, enormous, oversized glass coffin. And in this glass coffin will be a beautiful lady, but not lying down, of course, but suspended in mid-air in the coffin. Her long white gown, beautiful, wondrous white samite, plunging neckline, long tresses of raven black hair, her lips red with blood, dripping down her chin, and fangs in her mouth, glaring at you with glowing vampiric eyes, a vampire princess in all her satanic majesty, glaring at you and crawling on her bosom, on her body, amongst the folds of her white dress, hanging around her in the coffin and even flying in the air. Bats! Live bats! Dozens of them in there with her. Not a rat lady. A bat lady. That's the new concept for this year. How remarkable. Oh, gives me the willies. So, there you have it. Halloween Horror Nights 24. Let me just say, please make sure before you come to the event this year to make sure your account is fully balanced at the blood bank, because they may be making a withdrawal. Now, that is all for these All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights Revealed videos for this year. But stay tuned. Whether or not anything I said today was true or not, and it may be or may not be, very soon, perhaps sooner than you think, there may be some very cryptic videos yet to come. And with that, I say, enjoy the rest of your April Fool's Day. Ta-ta!